International lead a contentious hearing today on Capitol Hill for Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem. She took criticism from both sides of the aisle over the way her department has conducted its immigration crackdown, especially in Minnesota, not to mention her response to the shooting deaths of American citizens Alex Preddy and Renee Good at the hands of immigration officers.
I'm asking you, did you determine whether there was any basis for the sensational claim, a claim that proved to be utterly false, that these two victims were engaged in domestic terrorism?
There is an investigation ongoing. The FBI is leading that. There's also internal investigations that are ongoing.
I'm asking you
we'll continue to bring the facts forward.
Excuse me, Madam Secretary. I'm asking about your statements in the immediate aftermath of these shootings. Your statements based on completely unvetted information that if it was even provided to you proved to be utterly false, that you were content to tell the whole country. Do you have any concern about misleading the whole country?
Let's bring in that Senator Adam Schiff, Democrat from California. Senator, thanks for joining us. The Secretary told you basically it was reports from agents on the ground, part of a chaotic scene. They told her team that Preddy and Good were engaged in what they called domestic terrorism before those agents killed them. What was your reaction to her testimony today?
I thought it was pretty shameful. Yeah, certainly things are chaotic. That means you take your time to get it right before you tell the American people something that proves to be utterly false. I asked her, how can we have any confidence in an investigation led by your department or the Department of Justice if you predetermine the outcome, if you tell the country that these people are domestic terrorists? I think the main takeaway from the hearing is nothing has changed at DHS. Certainly the leadership hasn't. Certainly their willingness to use force without independent investigation when they do hasn't changed. Their willingness to deploy massive numbers of agents in indiscriminate sweeps, sweeping up citizens and non-citizens alike, has not changed, will not change under this leadership unless we change it. And I think one other thing became abundantly clear, and that is there is massive fraud and waste going on within that department. Hundreds of millions of dollars, sweetheart deals going out to people like the PR team that's doing her ads, that also did her ads in South Dakota. But those ads now, purportedly for DHS, but featuring Kristi Noem on horseback and Kristi Noem in a helicopter and Kristi Noem God knows where else, those are paid for by taxpayers. So if that department wants to look for waste and abuse, it can look within the department.
The Secretary, as you know, also faced tough questions from some of your Republican colleagues. I want to play some clips from Senator Tom Tillis of North Carolina and Senator John Kennedy of Louisiana.
The fact that you can't admit to a mistake, which looks like under investigation, is going to prove that Ms. Good and Mr. Preddy probably should not have been shot in the face and in the back. Law enforcement needs to learn from that. You don't protect them by not looking after the facts.
I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. It's just hard for me to believe, knowing the president, as I do, that you said, Mr. President, here's some ads I've cut, and I'm going to spend $220 million running them, that he would have agreed to that.
Senator Tillis also criticized Secretary Noem's handling of FEMA, and Senator Kennedy joined with the many lawmakers today wondering where the domestic terrorist allegations against Renee Good and Alex Preddy came from originally. What are your thoughts about what your Republican colleagues had to say?
Well, I was glad to see a couple of my colleagues push back on these unfounded claims and also question the contracting, the sweetheart deals that are going on at DHS, the waste of money on this ad campaign, which is meant to boost Kristi Noem as much as it's meant to boost anything about the Department of Homeland Security or engage in recruitment. So I thought it was encouraging, but we still didn't get a lot of our questions answered, and our Republican colleagues really need to join us in insisting on real answers to these questions and real reforms. We really haven't seen that yet, and it's absolutely vital, I think, to protect the country.
Let's turn to Iran. You're joining with other Democrats to force a vote on the War Powers Resolution tomorrow. That would force any future U.S. participation in hostile actions against Iran to have to be authorized by Congress. Are there enough Republicans that are going to join you for it to pass?
I don't know is the short answer. I would certainly hope that we'll have enough bipartisan support. And look, I mean, we are at war with Iran. Bush had his Iraq war. Trump now has his Iran war. Our service members tragically have been killed. Others' lives are on the line. The president needs to come to Congress and make the case and seek an authorization. I made this point in our closed session. I asked, what is the imminent threat that justified going to war with Iran? And got the same conflicting explanations, one which contradicted the president from just today. That is, we had to go to war with Iran because Israel was going to, and if we didn't, then Iran might attack us. The president said, no, he didn't have his hand forced by Israel. He forced Israel's hand, so which is it? And the other argument made by Secretary Rubio that we had to go to war now because years from now, Iran may pursue a bomb, and if we let their domestic missile production continue, it will be more difficult to take out their bomb later. So if that's the argument for an imminent threat, that is a threat that is years away, that we need to neutralize now, that is the antithesis of imminent. So I hope we have the votes tomorrow, but we're going to keep at this because sadly, this president has grown way too fond of war, and unless the Congress stops him, we're going to see this over and over and over again.
Democratic Senator Adam Schiff from California, thank you, sir. Appreciate your time.